don't want nobody else but you. If I had to choose, I still choose you. There could never be an us without you. I don't want nobody else but you. I don't want nobody else but you. No one. If I had to choose, I still choose you. There could never be an us without you. I don't want nobody else but you. Look, I'ma take a moment and make things clear. We both have options, but we both are here. There's no comparison. Acknowledge you're my blessing. My love and my loyalty is without question. Got something others try to find. Don't need nothing else as long as you are mine. You are mine. We complement each other. For me, there is no other. Rest assured that you'll never have to wonder nobody else but you. If I had to choose, I still choose you. There could never be an us without you. I don't want nobody else but you. I don't want nobody else but you. Choose, I still choose you. There could never be an us without you. I don't want nobody else but you. Listen, I said it once, twice, third time may be clearer. You wanna see my heart, girl, then find a mirror. You got away with the things that you do. Why would I say it if it wasn't true? Your love has grass and I'm staying here, turning moments into hours, days to years. We have something, some search a lifetime to find. If we came back in another life, you'll still be mine. I don't want nobody else but you. If I had to choose, I still choose you. There could never be an us without you. I don't want nobody else but you. I don't want nobody else but you. If I had to choose, I still choose you. There could never be an us without you. I don't want nobody else but you.
Testing. I don't hear it. Testing. I hear it now.
Test. Hello.
What's going on, world? You are tuned in right now to the one and only Center Stage with Jason today. I'm so humbled. I'm so honored right now. We got somebody in the building that I don't even know if I should even give an introduction to it, because I think everybody in the streets, y'all know who this is. You know what I mean? You've heard her music. You've seen her perform. This is the talented, exceptional Madelyn Brene.
Oh, I love it.
How you doing, love?
That is so sweet. I mean, it's just like make me sound all important.
You definitely are. You know what I mean? When I mention your name, everybody already know who you are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't even have to introduce you. You know what I mean? So how you
nice.
doing?
I'm doing really great.
You good?
I'm doing really great. Yeah.
Brand new year, 2018.
It is. It felt like it all bled together, though.
It bled together, yeah.
I feel like it all bled together, but yeah, it's really good.
So I had the honor of meeting you not too long ago. I want to say 2017 was a part of an interview that I got to meet you and got to check out some of your music and everything. And then most recently, I want to say it was 2-3 months ago, you were at a fashion show and you performed at the fashion show.
Yep.
So I mean, and I don't mean no disrespect to anybody who's watching right now, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm sitting there with a bunch of models, and Madelyn passes through. And as she passes through, every man that was sitting right with me stopped our conversation and started looking at Madelyn. So I started saying, "Who is this girl? Who is this?" She turned around. I knew exactly who she was. You know what I mean? And just even hearing her talent, she got on stage and she killed it. I mean, she completely brought down the house. So this is somebody who has talent that can't be matched to anybody else. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful moment. You know what I mean? We're so honored to have you on today. So
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I remember the last time I came and it was awesome. So I was
yeah.
really excited to come back. So, yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. So as y'all see, I mean, we're going to get into this interview, but at first I got to acknowledge something that, man, strictly DFW TV is making waves right now. We have switched it up from what we used to do. We do the live streaming and everything. Right now, you are tuned in right now, seeing us live on Facebook. We got the cameras everywhere. We in the building right now. We taking over. You see my shirt? Strictly DFW TV. We taking over, baby. So y'all keep tuned in to us, you know what I mean? But Madelyn, I wanted to kind of dive into your interview and kind of, for those, we're going to almost treat this interview as if there's people who don't know who you are. And I know there may be only like 4 or 5 of y'all who don't know, but you know what I mean? We're going to treat like people who don't know who you are, but we introducing you and we're promoting who you are. And so that's the way we're going to kick it off today. Madelyn, tell me about your career. Like, how did it kickstart?
Oh my goodness. Well, I started singing when I was 3, and I always had an interest in music. My mom was a singer. My grandfathers were pastors, and so it was just kind of like music all around all the time. And sang in the church. When I got to school, I started acting and dancing, and then probably about high school, I knew that this was really something I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I started studying classically, and so that was kind of a big transition for me because I kind of started to do a little bit of different stuff than what most kids would probably do.
Right.
Yeah. And then I went to college, and I went to SMU for music and studied vocal performance, and then I got out and I was singing and kind of doing some acting. And then just somewhere, everything just started to kind of multiply. You know what I mean? I started to teach music.
Right.
Singing and acting. And then somebody was like, "Hey, can you model this?" And I'm like,
right.
And so it just all kind of started.
And that, if for those who don't know who she is, I mean, she has so many talents. As you just heard, not only does she sing, she acts. She models. I mean, she teaches. I mean, the list goes on and on and on about how exceptional this person is. So this is a complete treat. You talked about even going in high school and doing music, brought up in the church. Is how most singers now in this generation are starting off in the church and then they build. What would be one of the turning points in your life as far as your career that kind of really shaped what you wanted to do in life?
I think that I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Clay.
Okay.
She's African-American lady, and when I first came into my voice lesson with her, I was singing gospel. I was in like the gospel choir.
Right.
She's like, "It's something different about your voice. You need to be singing classical music." And I'm like, "No, I don't really want to do that. That ain't my thing. I'm a black girl."
Yeah, right, yeah. That's not hot in the streets right now, you know. Yeah.
I ain't trying to do that. But it was just something about it. I think the first time I sang it, it was just awesome. And so even now, I took that, and it's like I can never lose that piece when it comes to my music. But that was a turning point. And then when I went through Hurricane Katrina, because my family's actually from New Orleans, and so I went through that, and I was at Xavier University my first year of college. And then we got displaced, and all of the, everybody knows what happened.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting to SMU, and I think meeting the teachers there and meeting the faculty there really inspired me to keep going.
Okay. So were you originally from Louisiana?
No, my dad is.
Okay.
My dad is, he's the king of gumbo. All of that.
Show love.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, this wasn't a part of the show, but I just have to ask, if your dad is the king of the gumbo, you know what I mean? So can you throw down? Can you cook?
Listen, I can throw down.
Okay.
I can.
All right.
Do I do it often? No, because it's just me by myself.
You're so busy.
Like,
right. I mean, you already got 36 jobs. You can't sit to me cooking every single day.
That's what I'm saying. Uber Eats is my best friend. Grubhub is my best friend. But honestly, I really do like to cook, but it's just, it's not always something I'm able to do because I like to take the time to do it. And really what it is that I like to cook, I just don't like washing dishes. Hey, so if somebody want to wash dishes,
that makes so much sense.
Then we good.
Yeah, that actually makes sense right there. I hate washing dishes, you know what I mean? I believe in paper plates and plastic forks and cups, you know what I mean? I don't like washing dishes.
That ain't for me. That ain't my calling. Is washing dishes. So usually if somebody want to wash the dishes, then But over Christmas break, I did cook for my sisters and my nephew, and that was a lot of fun.
No doubt, no doubt,
so.
no doubt. So, hearing about this, teaching music, you're doing music and everything like that. When would, as far as what I can see, doing all these, I've been on YouTube pretty much all week long, up there checking out some of your music and everything. When was the first time that you ever recorded? Maybe a song, an album? When was the first time you actually stepped in the studio?
The first time I ever stepped in the studio was actually for a small demo.
Okay.
Somebody was having a jazz show, and they were like, "Oh, we want to hear her sing, Fly Me to the Moon." And I was like, what?
Okay.
And so I called my friend. His name is Nick Abe. He's a really good colleague of mine.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, I need to record something." I had not really recorded because I was like a live singer.
Okay.
And I went in there and I did it, and it turned out really good.
Yeah.
And then I did a couple more of those. And then, I went through a few things that kind of caused me to get into songwriting because my feelings were tapped into at that point. So heartbreak, just a lot of loss.
You lived a little bit.
Yeah, had some stuff really happen. And so then I recorded my first single, which was AK-47.
That joint that's fire. Yeah,
that's still like everybody's
favorite. I'm not even gonna lie.
Love that song.
I hate to put stuff like when people say that's my favorite because I mean you're so versatile, and so I try not to say favorite, but if I had to say it's up there as one of the top songs, that song is still like I've been playing that song from even when I first met you. And still to this day, I promise you that's still a track that I listen to.
You know what? And with that song, it's crazy because I hate to say this, I don't perform it a lot anymore.
Okay.
And the reason why is because when I wrote it, I was in such a dark place.
Okay.
I was in such, the song is about domestic abuse and me being a survivor of that. And now I'm actually working with some organizations that have to do with domestic abuse. But it's really hard for me to sing because now I have to pull in that place.
Pull that emotion out. Yeah,
I'm totally not there, and so I know I'm going to New York this week, and a couple people have been like, "Can you please?" And I'm like, "Okay," so I'm gonna do it. But it's hard to pull because it really does take me to a hard place. But I love the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great song. It's just hard to sing.
And it's beautiful to say that so many times artists, put out music, put out songs, and they're not connected to it. It's basically singing over a beat. You know what I mean? But for you to sit there and put so much into it and emotion and thought to the place where you sit there saying, "Hey man, I kind of don't even want to do it right now because it's going to pull that emotion out of me." That shows how invested that song was to you. And I think that's what really makes true music. You know what I mean? So we're going to take a quick break for a moment. We're going to go ahead and jump into one of your tracks right now. This track right here is called Warm Up to You.
It's my latest.
This is your latest, okay? So y'all who never checked it out, man, we're about to check it out. This is Madelyn Brene. This is Warm Up to You. Let's go.
Whispers to my heart so low, but all you hear is silence. Trying to light the flame inside, but all you feel is cold. 'Cause I love so cautiously, trying to fix what's broken deep in my soul. So boy, you gotta have patience with me. My heart has been open before, but I've been waiting for you. So let me warm up. Gotta warm up. Can I warm up? My heart is warming up to you. Let me warm up. Gotta warm up. Can I warm up? My heart is warming up to you. but I've been waiting for you to let me warm up. Gotta warm up. Can I warm up? My heart is warming up to you. Let me warm up. Gotta warm up. Can I warm up? My heart is warming up to you. 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 You gotta have patience with me. My heart has been open before, but I've been waiting for you to let me warm up. Gotta warm up. Can I warm up? My heart is warming up to you. Let me warm up. Gotta warm up. Can I warm up? My heart is warming up to you. 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 My heart is warming up to you.
Welcome back. You listening to Center Stage with Jason. We have the one and only Madelyn Brene, and that was Warm Up to You. So can you tell me a little about that song right there?
Yeah, that's like, okay, so Warm Up to You, after I wrote All of Me, which is the EP that has like AK-47 and Invoice.
Right.
Warm Up to You was kind of like that beginning of a new time and a new chapter in someone's life where you kind of meet somebody or you're trying to get into that mode where you want to date and you want to get to know people. And not even that. Maybe it's just like a career move or you're just trying to take the next step. Yeah. But you literally have to warm up to that situation or to that person or to whatever it is because you've been through so much.
Absolutely.
So Warm Up to You definitely came from there because there was a lot of dudes trying to holler and I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Give me some time. Give me some space. You know what I mean? Let me warm up to you. You know what
yes. And so it is it has already been released, but it actually is the first single off of my new project that's coming out.
Okay.
Can't really share the title
because you know that's what the next question I was about to hit you with. Like, oh, hold on, I didn't know we had something new coming out.
It's between two titles, and I'm just really torn. I can't even tell you, but it's driving me crazy because I'm usually a pretty decisive person, but this is like, okay, this or this. So I'm just kind of waiting, but the project is set. We have the producers. We're in pre-production right now, and it's really amazing. What it is, because I'm actually kind of donning a new genre, is called opera soul, like Warm Up to You.
Right.
So basically, my new project is going to be a visual EP.
Okay.
So it's going to be videos for all the songs, and it's going to actually almost look like an opera, where it's going to be the song, and then it's going to be tied in with like orchestral.
That's crazy.
Orchestral in between. So it's going to be one whole movement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you
it's
may
like
not
my
have
symphony, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you may not have necessarily the title of what the album's going to be, but do you know yet what time frame is going to be released this year?
Absolutely. We I start recording right after I get back from New York.
Okay.
And so February we start recording. The videos are going to probably be like in the summer. So we're expecting a fall release September.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We definitely going to stay tuned to that.
It's going to be good.
So let me ask you, you talked about New York. So while I was reading your bio, I found out that you are working along with the Grammys. Yeah. So is that what you're going to New York for coming up?
Grammy Awards.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little about what you do when you go out there. You know, some of us we don't even know. We see it on TV. We don't ever get the experience. What do you do when you go out to New York?
Well, what's really cool, I have to kind of shout out the Recording Academy, because what it is that people think, you know, oh, you get to go to the Grammys, and they think it's like this, I don't know. I mean, it is a privilege and it is an honor. But really, the Recording Academy is basically an advocacy for artists and for musicians. Okay. And so I joined it because I was very passionate about the equal rights for musicians. Okay. And also just kind of like knowing the music and just really kind of to expand my brand and my horizons. And so the Academy has really been great because not only do they do the the Grammys, but they also have like different forums.
Okay.
They have different meetups for artists, and so
Right.
you're really able to connect with a lot of people.
Good. That's big.
So it's really an amazing organization.
Absolutely.
I've been in it for maybe like 5 years now, and it really has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So I really like it. Yes, and the Grammys are nice too.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Let's not leave that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. I mean, you mentioned about the opera soul. That's what we call it. Opera soul. Can I ask you what kind of influences you had in music?
Sure.
Over the course of your life, I mean, to blend that together, me personally, I don't think I've ever heard it until I heard your music. You know what I mean? So I just want to see what kind of influence growing up, maybe, or better yet, we'll even say dead or alive. What artists would you want to work with?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do a double answer. You know what I mean?
You trying to take it all back to the composers like Beethoven?
Because I got this entire makeup of who you are and the artistry that you've given off. I mean, you really have to say, hey man, this is a gifted young lady. So what drove her to this? Like what kind of people really inspired you when it came to music?
Well, the roots were there from birth. You know, like I said, you haven't grown up Baptist. I don't know if anybody grew up Baptist.
Yeah.
I mean, the music was just there. My mom was over the kids choir. She was in a gospel group. And then I don't know if it was the influence of my father's family being from New Orleans. So it was a lot of jazz.
Right.
Then studying classically. Then, you know, being a young kid in the 90s and loving R&B and hip hop.
Yeah.
And everything just kind of tied in. And I think, like, even when I did All of Me, I was in a place where I was like, okay, I'm just going to do everything and put on a EP.
Right.
And it turned out good, but, you know, I needed to narrow it down. And it kind of was like, okay, which avenue do you want to go into? Because you can really do both.
Absolutely.
But then it was almost like, and I had, you know, one of my mentors say, well, do you really have to choose? You know, can you really merge these two?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, because that's kind of different.
Yeah.
You know, and then I saw a Jill Scott concert.
Okay.
And she did one of my favorite songs, He Loves Me, and she started kind of breaking down in opera. And I said, okay, we're going to do it.
There we go.
You know, because there is a place, there's a niche for artists like myself who are trying to do something different.
Okay.
And you not only are, you know, impressing audiences and all
Right,
that, but
right.
you really are teaching people.
Absolutely.
Because most people would not go to an opera, but, you know, they may listen to something that has that.
Absolutely.
And that's really a passion of mine because I know that as an African-American woman, that's not something that's always afforded to you.
Right.
So going back to your question, people that I would love to work with, Giacomo Puccini is my favorite composer.
Okay.
And La Rondine was one of my favorite operas, or is. Jill Scott, of course. Someone just asked me that today. Jill Scott is definitely one. I don't know. I'm trying to
I could definitely see
Sarah
Jill
Vaughan,
Scott. You know what I mean? Because I can see y'all up there tearing down the house. Madelyn Brene, Jill Scott. I mean, that show would be bonkers. Like that. I'm serious. It would have to be a 3 to 4 hour show because I'm serious. Nobody's getting up to leave out of that show.
Yeah,
that would be.
We're taking them, Jill. I got you, girl. Whatever you need me, girl. I'm on it.
Guys take turns flipping. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
And I do a good rendition of "He Loves Me," so you know.
So I
remix.
Yeah. What about you do any live covers for radio stations?
Not today. But you know, at another time, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Sarah Vaughan.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, my list goes on. Shaka Khan, Erykah Badu. I mean, these are people that just inspire me every day.
Right.
I just love, and for some reason, I pulled a little something from all of them.
Right,
you know,
absolutely.
Erykah Badu has this kind of, I hate to say it, but ballsiness on stage.
Yeah.
And if you ever see me perform live, I kind of do anything and just, you know, go there.
Yeah.
So I have so much respect for her and for just all types of artists, everybody.
Absolutely.
Sugar Hill Gang, because I love hip hop.
Oh, so you're a hip hop fan? Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I love Biggie.
Okay.
People know that. That's my dude.
Pac?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm be hitting a little Lil Kim in New York.
That's what's up.
She gonna be on a set, you know.
That's bonkers. That's crazy.
I like to flow a little bit. So,
yeah.
You know, every now and then I gonna get on mic.
Have you ever been kind of shell shocked when you meet somebody? You know, maybe an artist or entertainer that you just completely just got wowed away when you met them.
You know what? Yes. And that person was she's an opera singer. Her name is Kathleen Battle.
Okay.
and she actually, well, I hate to say this on air, but she actually got kicked out of the Metropolitan Opera because she was a super diva, like super diva. But the woman can sing. And I spent like my last $90 in college because you broke in college. Right. And I spent all my money to go and see her in Austin. She had a concert. Yeah. And we skipped class. Sorry, professors, but we did.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry. Oh, I graduated. That's all we need to know.
That's all she care about. You know what I mean?
I got the degree. Don't worry about what happened in between, but I got it. So we went to Austin, and the first time I walked up to her after the concert, she wasn't shaking hands because, a lot of times hands are dirty, so she was giving people hugs, which I was like, okay, that's cool. But she said, are you a singer? And I said, yeah. She said, I can tell. And I was like, oh.
Watch out.
And I just felt like, okay, well, nobody could tell me nothing now.
Man.
Because she knew. She saw the power. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
She was awesome. She was amazing.
So let me ask you this. Do you have any guilty pleasures? I mean, as far as music-wise, is there anybody who you listen to that maybe people wouldn't even imagine you listening to?
I'm a big fan of Swisher House.
Okay. I wouldn't have thought that. Okay.
Like, diamonds on my all of that. Yeah. I just, I'm
okay.
so... I got
so if we went through your playlist or your iPod or whatnot, we would probably see some stuff like Swisher House in there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
also...
also...
Because I love Chopped and Screwed. Yeah. I mean, I'm all about it. I just like it. I don't know. My favorite guilty pleasure song is Mrs. Officer by Lil Wayne. That's my jam.
That's your jam?
That come on.
That track's hard, though.
Or anything by Uncle Luke.
Okay, so yeah. You definitely got it. I mean, your catalog is out there, man.
Luke, come on, I turned to a different person.
I can't even say you in this box right now, man, because you sit there from this extreme to the next extreme. But then there also, if we hit shuffle, we got some opera singers.
Yeah,
So you got
some Pavarotti, some Leontine Price, all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's not bad. So we're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to jump into another one of your tracks. You know what I mean? I mean, we just going to enjoy every single moment that we have with you. Okay, so I'll jump into another question if I have to. Okay. So as far as anything that I already said the defining moments, but what are the songs that you love to perform? I know that I think we were talking briefly about the AK-47. But what is your favorite song that you perform?
Probably Invoice. Okay. I mean, I used to get tired of it because everybody would always want to hear it, and it was like, okay, but then I start really saying, like, this song is so true, and people really relate to this song, including myself.
Okay.
Invoice, if you haven't heard that one, but it's basically about you loving someone, you giving them your all, you like helping to upgrade them, do all this stuff for them, and then they turn around and share it with someone else, so that person owes you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So but the crowd gets into it. The audience loves it.
See, that was my next question. What makes that song one of the songs that you love performing? Just because the crowd activity, the message behind it, the feelings behind it.
It's all of that. It's just a fun live song, and people, I can't tell you how many people say to me, "Oh, that song touched me, and that's my jam, girl. Invoice, girl, we need to." And I'm like, okay. And then I actually performed it at House of Blues for Beats by Her. Okay. And I didn't realize it, but it was me and some other women, and they actually had kind of like a competition where they had a producer come in and kind of say who had the better original song, and the Invoice ended up winning. That's when I performed it. And so I was like, okay, so, that makes me really happy because it lets me know what I'm doing the right thing. So whether I'm writing for myself or for other artists, I just want it to be authentic.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. I love that. I hear that. That's what's up. So we're going to go ahead and check out another one of yours. This is one of my favorites. This is my personal favorite. I'm sorry. I try not to be so biased, but this track right here, man, I love this one. So do you want to go ahead and introduce this one?
Is this the remix or the regular?
Yeah, this is going to be the remix.
Okay, what's got that little...
Yeah.
Well, this is AK-47, the remix. Not the original with just the bass, but the remix. So I hope you guys enjoy.
now I know. Somehow I thought I'd be different, somehow bulletproof. But now I'm standing here crying in pain with these wounds as proof. Ooh, I just got hit by AK-47, got shot by him. Now I learned my lesson. The damage you made, yeah, it caused some wounds, but I'm still standing with my love is proof. Hey, AK-47, got shot by him. Now I learned my lesson. The damage you made, yeah, it caused some wounds, but I'm still standing with my love is proof. Hey, I miss him at times, but I know I can't deal with the way that he hurts me and the way that I feel. He would kiss me, then curse me, say I love you, then hurt me. My poor heart would flicker, and then he pulled the trigger. I couldn't let go, I just kept hanging on, trying to stick with a man that just kept doing wrong. Could've dodged his bullets, but I ran straight to it. Hope the next girl will run, but she gets shot with this gun. AK-47, got shot by him. Now I learned my lesson. The damage you made, yeah, it caused some wounds, but I'm still standing with my love is proof. Hey, AK-47, got shot by him. Now I learned my lesson. The damage you made, yeah, it caused some wounds, but I'm still standing with my love is proof. Hey. Oh, ladies, have you ever had someone that hurt you so bad? He hurt you, he cursed you, he didn't treat you right. Every woman in this world has an AK-47. AK-47, got shot by him. Now I learned my lesson. The damage you made, yeah, it caused some wounds, but I'm still standing with my love is proof. Hey, AK-47, got shot by him. Now I learned my lesson. The damage you made, yeah, it caused some wounds, but I'm still standing with my love is proof. Hey.
Welcome back, man. Y'all are now tuned back in to Center Stage with Jason. You just heard one of my favorite tracks, AK-47. That was the R&B remix by Madelyn Brene. So we back in the building today. I told her before we even kicked things off, that was my favorite song. I know y'all jammed out to that. That was hot. So, Madelyn, do you want to touch on that a little bit? You want to talk about that song? I mean, I know we know that it has. It was from a different place that you were in life that song will stem from, and we know that sometimes that's one of the crowd favorites. Is there anything else you want to say about that song that maybe we didn't address. I mean, I didn't even know it was a remix. You know what I mean? I kind of feel left out that I only knew it was one version out there. But you know, that even though it was a remix, that's a favorite. Could you see yourself even maybe down in different projects that you work on? Could you see yourself maybe even doing another remix? You know what I mean? Maybe even change it to a opera kind of situation.
And
you know?
I think that's what's going to happen. I was reading an ASCAP daily briefing. I kind of get in my email, and they were talking about so many artists that kind of will sometimes re-release things or redo them based on where they are.
Right.
And so what I love about being an independent artist is that you have the permission to change lanes. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to use too many blinkers. You just kind of do your thing.
Yeah.
Just drive. And so for me, at some point, once I'm finished with this current project, I will definitely probably kind of remix and kind of do some different things.
Absolutely.
I know in voice, I'd actually talked to a country singer, and we're going to change it to a country song.
I like that.
So
I like that.
because it definitely has that meaning behind it, and you know, country people they talk trash.
Right, absolutely.
You know, they don't play. So I'm like, okay, this is
yeah.
a good one for that. So we definitely are going to do that, and those things are all down the line.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited.
So even crossing over, I mean, from what we heard, you write all your songs. You have no co-writers. You were every single, and that's another thing, fans. This is not someone who's just singing something else somebody gave her. This is something that she took the time, put the craft in, put the work in to write and put out to the fans. So you said you write your own music. Have you ever wrote for anybody else?
Yeah, I'm actually currently about to start working with some artists. We're in the final stages of getting things together.
Okay.
Because at one point, I mean, I was doing a lot of arrangements for some people. And I had written some things, but then I would end up kind of singing them. And see, I think that's where all of me, some of those songs can definitely be for other artists.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's kind of like Neo. You know, he'll sing a lot of his songs.
Absolutely.
But other artists will perform them.
Yeah.
But you can always kind of tell. So I'm definitely going to be doing that this year and working on some things, starting to get into film music.
Absolutely.
I'm doing a lot with my students because I still vocal coach.
Right.
And so a lot of them are now becoming professionals, and so I'm helping them kind of get that singer-songwriter independence kind of going. So, yeah.
And you actually touched on something I definitely want to make sure we address even in this interview, that you are giving back. You are doing something for the community. You are helping kids. Can you even tell those listeners who are not aware, you know, even the academies and the teaching that you're doing with these young kids?
Yeah, so I actually am. I'm a full-time teacher and a full-time performer. That's why I'm always working.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've taught in lower-income schools.
Okay.
I've taught in schools where there have been learning disabilities, and I'm really passionate about that.
Yeah.
But then I also run a private vocal studio called the Brene Studio.
Right.
And what I've done is I'm really passionate about, especially African American students that want to study music, having the means to be able to do it because sometimes their parents may not be able to afford it. So I actually have a scholarship that I award every year for a student, and they get free lessons. And so
major.
One of my students now, he is actually about to graduate, and so I'm about to award the next student, and that student will be able to study with me, but do that free of cost.
Wow.
So I do that, and then I work with Habitat for Humanity, building houses. I'm trying to see how I can be on the other end of that because I was on the roof, and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was fun, but I have a little phobia of heights.
Okay.
But that was really great. But what I'm really, really passionate about is I just partnered with Genesis Women's Shelter.
Okay.
And I absolutely love them. They are amazing. And they actually were, we benefited them for my Christmas soiree, my annual show. And we basically raised gift cards for the families. And we did really well with that. And so I'm going to be working with them throughout this year.
Okay.
And then Dallas Mavericks actually bought in. So they gave tickets for people who donated. And it's just amazing.
Okay.
I do talk about those things, but sometimes I feel like these are just things that I want to do because there were some people that gave back to me to be able to do what I'm doing. So I'm really excited about just the partnerships that I have.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
And I even listening to hear you talk about the foundations that you're doing, the things that you're working in, and to say that you're doing this for low income areas, doing it for people who, you know, there's a lot of people who do things that to try to get a return. But if you up there is simply doing it, saying, hey, you don't even have to return this. I'm just giving these people. I'm trying to help and do the best I can. It really is a breath of fresh air. It's very inspiring to see somebody give so much of themselves because, like, I was messing with her. If y'all can't hear on the break, I told her she was the hardest woman working out here. But to say that you still, even no matter what you're doing in life, whatever you're doing with your career, your music, your acting, the modeling, and everything, you still have to take time to give back to the community. And that's a powerful thing. Is there one thing that kind of inspired all that? That big heart? I mean, you don't see that too often.
I really think it's just, I think it's God's grace. There's so many things that we do every single day, and God continuously gives us everything, and then some.
Yeah.
And so it's like, for me to be a person on this earth and to have a gift and to have so many talents and not, to share them with the world is one thing.
Right.
But to not give back and pour into, the next generation of people that also could do that.
Absolutely.
There were people that in the lowest of my lows were inspiring me.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's kind of like, I feel like I have to do that.
Right. Absolutely.
I see kids that are really interested and want to see what I'm doing and all that. And it's like, you can let them watch you or you can teach them.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that.
So that really is where it comes from. I don't have any kids of my own, but I always say that I have like 200 kids because that's how many I teach.
Absolutely.
And they drive me crazy sometimes. Yeah. They do. But I love each and every one of them because they have really, I've actually learned more from teaching than I've taught.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. That's one that stumps me a little bit.
I'm telling you, that is beautiful beyond anything else. I mean, no matter what songs we can hear, what she's done in the industry, to see that actually is on the top of the list to say how incredible this young lady is. So I have to ask, I mean, you mentioned modeling. How did you get into modeling?
Okay, so I have to go back. So I was at the time, there was a photographer that I knew, and it was my first Christmas soiree, and he did some beauty shots of me. Okay. Just for a flyer. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay, these are really pretty. And somebody was like, you really should model. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right, whatever. So I kind of did some things, and people kind of kept saying stuff. But then it started to transition because I really love fashion. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I love fashion.
Yeah.
And so I started kind of like putting outfits together and taking like lifestyle pictures. And then people were like buzzing about that, like, oh my God, your style, this, whatever. And I did that also because I'm a curvy woman, and I wanted to show like a positive light on curvy women and dressing in fashion.
Absolutely.
Because even to this day, I still get women like, I don't know if I could wear that. I don't know this. I don't know that. And so I was like, yeah, you can wear it. You can do it.
Absolutely.
So I started that, and then from there, brands started contacting me. And we're like, hey, can you model our stuff? Can you do this? And I'm like, okay, well, how much is the fee? And I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't know nothing about no fee. And then it was like, okay, there's a fee. And then I started saying, well, this is a fee. Okay, cool, we'll send you this. And I'm like, oh, wow. So then it became another source of income.
Absolutely.
And then all the money that I make from there, I actually put into my project.
Watch out. See that?
Yeah.
It's everything is coming together. Everything is just blending together. That's major.
Yeah.
And I must say, I mean, if you've been on Madelyn's page, I'm telling you, this young lady is so fashionable. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you ever on a photo, whether in person, that you have not looked top notch. I mean, I'm telling you, you carry yourself very well, and that's a beautiful thing, especially in this time of age where everything just goes. You know what I mean? So yeah. So but yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get into another one of your tracks. I'll let you introduce this one too.
Which one is this one? Oh, it's Invoice.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay, so this is Invoice from my first EP, All of Me. So I hope you guys enjoy. Y'all make sure y'all rock it out.
Let's go.
All right. So how do you tell?
Benefit from a man that I helped start. I built him up and I held him down. So how in the hell you get to inherit from this treasure I found? I think I write you an invoice with all of my fees, 'cause everything you love about him is because of me. I think I write you an invoice with all of my fees, 'cause everything you love about him is because of me. When we first started, he was half the man. He didn't even learn to walk right without holding my hand. Now I'm not asking a lot
back on the air. You're listening to Center Stage with Jason, and that one was called Invoice by the one and only Madelyn Brene. That was a hot track. I couldn't even keep still for a second. You know what I mean? I like that one. And that's off of your latest album?
No, that's off of All of Me.
All of Me album. Yeah, okay, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm looking at it right now. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so do you want to tell us a little more about that particular song?
Invoice started off as a joke. I say this all the time. I was in a car with my friend, and she had just had a bad breakup. And, she was going in. I was driving. I was like, oh, Lord. And she was like, oh, my God. I was with this guy, and I gave him everything, and I did this, and I did that. And this girl, now he's with her. And, she owes me something. I need to write her invoice. And I was like, word. I was like,
wow,
I like that.
I like
and
that.
So I was, and then I think we'd start, and I was like, I think I'll write you in it, and then it just came to song.
That's crazy.
So it was really a joke. It really was. I was not meaning for it to be, but it worked out.
Right, absolutely.
And it is a true song. Shoot.
Yes, it is. I can agree with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I want some money back from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I need to send you my
money,
invoice.
some time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Some energy back. All of that. I've written a lot of invoices,
absolutely.
Actually. Some of them have been unpaid.
Yeah. Past due and whatnot, going to collections.
But hey, whatever.
Absolutely.
7 years is off your credit score anyway, so it don't even matter.
That's what's up.
Don't even matter.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that all the listeners, all the viewers right now know exactly what's coming up for you. Do you have any shows that's coming up? I know we got you out in New York for the Grammys week and everything, but do you have any local shows that are coming up that maybe people who want to see you perform live? Because it's again, I already told her, I said, man, it's something else when I see her perform live. It's crazy. So definitely, y'all want to, whatever she says, show up. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead and do your plug.
I am performing Grammy Weekend too, and I'm proud of that because that's never happened. So I'm like, I'm really excited. So that's Friday. So I hope I can get this congestion stuff under the control, but I'll be all right. And then when I get back, I'm like I said, I'm starting to record, and then my next performance here is actually at Brick House Lounge in Arlington, and that's February 17th.
February 17th, okay.
And I may do, some private shows and all that. But then after that, I'll probably take a little bit of a break. I have a cover that's going to be releasing.
Okay.
So I'm actually doing If It's Magic by Stevie Wonder.
Watch out.
And I have a harpist that's going to be doing that with me.
Okay.
So y'all should just wait for that because it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. I'm very excited. And so we're doing that. And once we record that, then everything will just kind of be full stream with starting to market and get the opera soul type thing out. So lots of shift in the fashion, lots of drama, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just, I already come at people with so much, and now they're going to be like, Lord, this girl.
Hey, give us more of you. You know what I mean? So you already know she's coming up. That was February 17th, Brick House Lounge in Arlington.
And I'm also performing with Tamia Coleman. And Zipporah, and every time we perform together, it's really awesome. So shout out to them. It's called the TMZ Show. Tamia, Madelyn, and Zipporah. And so it's gonna be really awesome.
All right, so y'all check it out. Then we got the album coming out later on this year, possibly around fall time. So y'all definitely stay tuned to this. I'm already excited to get ready to see this cover that you're about to do. I mean, I'm already trying to imagine it in my head.
It's exciting.
I'm ready for this.
It's exciting.
So how can fans get in touch with you?
So everything is at Madelyn Brene, everything. Facebook.
Okay.
My website, madelynbrene.com, which is really like a hub for me.
Okay.
I was just finalizing some things on it. I think the next, we kind of redid some things.
Right.
So it should probably go live on Thursday, right before I leave. And it has everything, like how you can connect, Twitter's Madelyn Brene, just any social media site. And then for inquiries and booking, Madelyn Brene, management at madelynbrene.com. I have to tell people that because they try to go on my DMs.
Right.
And I know it goes down the DM, but it's so many that, sometimes now when you're on Instagram, it has the request thing.
Right, yeah.
And you don't see it. And then 5 months later, you're like.
Absolutely. I didn't see that notification. Yeah.
So I tell people just please, because I'm always on my email.
Right, absolutely.
That's where the money is. So.
Absolutely. So as far as getting your music, those who have listened to these tracks right now and they feeling it, they need to get it in their life, how would they purchase your music?
Sure, you can purchase from CD Baby if you want a hard copy. You can also purchase from iTunes.
Okay.
Spotify, it's on there. Amazon Music. What all the other? Tidal, I'm on Tidal.
So basically, anywhere you can get music, that's you're gonna find you. Okay.
Madelyn is there.
SoundCloud, she's definitely on SoundCloud.
I'm everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't want to end this interview without asking one question I like to ask artists is if you had a mission statement as far as about your career, something that really talks about your influence, what you're doing in life, what you're offering out to the world that may be a little different than anyone else. You know what I mean? This is the reason why I'm different. This is the reason why what I'm doing is so sensational. What would you say to new fans who've never met you, never heard your music? What would you say that would draw them to want to listen to your music?
Well, just in overall my whole career, the quote that my mom shared with me when I was younger, and I still say it to this day, is, if a task has once begun, never leave it until it's done. If it's great or if it's small, do it well or not at all. And that is,
I like that.
Yeah. I've been saying this.
All right, that's gonna be my Facebook post. Do I need to say it was from your mama, or do I need to say it's from you?
You say it's from my mama because she's the one that made it up.
Madelyn's mama said that. Yeah,
Deborah,
like
she made it up.
Yeah,
but
that.
So that has always been like a mission of mine, and that's just in anything I do. I am seeing, and I have been hearing, and I hope that people are watching, or when they do watch, please know that every message that I've been getting, or every phone call, or when someone says, I'm inspiring them and making them want to do whatever, whether it's fashion or dressing or getting their business up and running, to me, that honestly is what keeps me going.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is my personal drive because I just love what I do.
Right.
But I really do love that people are inspired by it, because to me, I just wake up every morning and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
But you just never know what you're doing and how it can inspire people.
How it influences
so
so
if
many.
nothing else, I'm just grateful for that, because that means that I'm walking in my purpose.
Absolutely.
So with my music and being different, it is different because it is merging two. It's like, I call it soul. Well, I call it like classical melodies wrapped in soul, basically.
Right.
And so it is merging two things that would not be otherwise, and it's giving you an experience to just enjoy art.
Okay.
To enjoy good music, to enjoy entertainment.
Absolutely.
To enjoy passion, and so and original and authenticity.
Yeah.
And so I think putting those all together is really what just kind of makes me different.
Absolutely.
And what you see, I really don't put on facades. So right now, and then I'm gonna leave here and probably go eat some fried chicken.
Let's go.
Like it's just whatever.
While listening to Switcher House.
Yeah. And then go sing an opera tonight. You know what I'm saying? So it just all works. But no, I mean literally that's how you can describe my music, and I'm just happy to be able to do it, and that it's starting to come out, and people are kind of.
Absolutely.
Really digging it. So I'm blessed.
So I appreciate you coming out tonight. This is probably been one of my favorite shows to even interview artists. I mean, just as an artist of your caliber. I mean, this is the total package. This is multi-talented. This is Grammy going, young lady who's up there. In my opinion, I think you're about to take the world on storm. I don't think this is your zenith just yet. I think that there's so much more that's to come out of Madelyn. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm excited to see what 2018 brings you. So please make sure you stop by the station anytime you dropping anything. Me personally, I'm going to ask if you could stop by the station when you drop this cover. Like, even if you just come in and say, "Hey, I'm just going to let y'all play it," and we're
going to play it, but then it's going to be a visual as well. So we're going to have probably a viewing party, and I'll put it out on social media.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
So we definitely will do that. It's going to be exciting.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So I'm
nervous, but I'm excited.
Hey, you know what? It's a big thing. This is a big deal. So, but no, this is we're gonna sign off. But before we even leave the audience, we're gonna at least play one more song. This song is gonna be called "Trophy," and this is how we're gonna close it off.
It's funky.
It's funky. All right, that's a good way to close it off. So, Madelyn, it's always been a pleasure.
It's
always a pleasure coming on and speaking with you. Fans, y'all know how to get in touch with her. Has a show coming up February 17th, Breakhouse Lounge, Arlington. So you want to see her live perform, go check it out. Yep. Look tuned this fall, dropping the album. Let's go. You tuned in to Center Stage with Jason.
Bye.
Peace.
That you wish for in a girl like me. I wanna give you everything you ever asked. Whatever mess you want, but just don't know, so they slipped up and passed. It's rewarding. just my smile and the way that I think and I walk and I talk make the work just for a while. Now the hard work is done, and now you can tell the world that you have won. You were patient in your choice, so a job well done. Now the time has come to come and claim your prize. I'm your trophy. Hold me tight and do me right and show the world you're lady. I'm your trophy. Hold me tight and do me right and show the world you're lady. The award goes to the man that took the time, who changed the game and now takes home the prize, who took the time to know me and pursue. Now there's no question in the way that I love you. I'm gonna be the girl you need, show you all the things that you never seen, be the truth that's been creeping in your dreams tonight. I'm gonna be the girl you need, show you all the things that you never seen, be the truth that's been creeping in your dreams tonight. I love you. The award goes to the man that took the time, who changed the game and now takes home the prize, who took the time to know me and pursue. Now there's no question in the way that I love you. The award goes to the man that took the time, who changed the game and now takes home the prize, who took the time to know me and pursue. Now there's no question in the way that I love you. This is for all my ladies who know deep down inside that they are really the true prize. I need you to look that man in his eyes, and if you don't want to sing it, you can say something like this. Every time you look this girl right in her eyes, she'll give you all the feelings that you cannot hide. Took a little while to see first place, but how you feel now since you won this race? She's everything you wanted in the girl of your dreams, brains and beauty and a walk that's mean, all the glowing things that you long to see. So get your case ready, cause it's time for trophy.